Fashionable.
I mean, how are you going to top?
She's in Milan.
And Federica's just laughing at us, I'm sure.
No, it's not true. You're fabulous.
You can tell your boss the things we do for work.
It's true.
Exactly. We're gonna have fun.
If my husband walks by, I will get many questions later. I'll explain later. Oh, here comes Christine. Still filling up.
They're showing up. They're timid to put on their cameras, I guess. We need cameras, folks.
Yes.
Milan, Michigan.
This is amazing.
Looks good for you, Sam. That's a strong contender. I believe.
That is, I'm telling you, I mean. And what does your t-shirt say?
It says that woman from Michigan. Reference to the governor. Here.
Hey, Sam, can you, while you're thinking about, are you actually physically in front of that sign, or is that a backdrop? You are?
No, it's a backdrop.
Well, you know, we love those pictures of you, so please keep them coming. Go ahead and see if you can get one of yourself with your Milan backdrop.
Rob, why are you laughing so hard?
Roberto, ¿cómo estás, amor?
You look beautiful. You look so beautiful.
He's just doubled over laughing.
And there's Lisa Krause. Hey, Lisa.
And I am wearing my, I'm in a barn in a rental property because I'm moving and everything's in storage. So I'm wearing my camo overalls from TJ Maxx.
Fabuloso, fabuloso.
The Italian designer section of TJ Maxx.
Kind of embarrassed, but I'm kind of owning it, embracing it for my friend Carol. But I'm proud of all these designer looks. But I am in camo TJ Maxx for today. But nice to see everybody.
Well, you're a Maxxinista.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Right.
Right. Well, as everyone is logging in, we just wanted to say hi. We have some new faces today. So if you are new to our call, if you wouldn't mind just saying hello and telling us where you are or what company you're with, we'd appreciate it.
I'll start things off. Hi, everybody. I'm Rob James. I'm the Area Director of Sales with the Beverly Hills Hotel and Hotel Bel Air here in Los Angeles. And I wanted to join because it is Wednesday, 1 o'clock in Los Angeles, and I want to go to Italy. So here I am.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
We had a really good time virtually visiting your hotel a few weeks ago, Rob, and Maria just took us all on a fantastic Hollywood journey. So we can't wait to visit you in person.
You've got to love La La Land, and we can't wait to have you in person.
Rob, I may or may not have had the same outfit on, by the way. It works.
I'll go next. I'm Theodora Ducles. I'm a product buyer with The Traveler. We are based in Toronto, but I am currently based in Scottsdale, Arizona. I don't know if you can see, but I've got workout wear on, so I'm gonna go work out after our call, like a lot of the people I'm surrounded by, who seem to just work out every day, all day long. We are fortunate to have a vacation home down here. So I flew down and crossed the border so I can have a few more months of heat and sunshine because it's starting to get cold up in Toronto. And I'm working from here on Eastern business hours. So I'm up at 5 a.m. and going to bed at 9 p.m. like a lot of the seniors I'm surrounded by. And but I get a lot of great sunshine during the day. So nice to meet everybody, and thanks for having us.
Help us get the word out there in Arizona and in Canada too. Just blast it out.
We will, hopefully.
Okay, I see Jan Levine. I haven't seen much of her. Hey, Jan. How are you? You got to turn your mic on so we can hear you. Has Whitney got everybody muted? No.
No.
And Stella, is Stella Carter? Hi, Stella. And John Cruz. I don't believe we've had John Cruz with us either. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
I love your sweater. Ti amo, Johnny, ti amo.
Thank you.
John Cruz, do you still live
Yeah.
here in the same state that I do? I never see you.
Oh my God, you took the words. You just read the bubble above my head. I thought the same thing about you.
I know. So, and I think we live in the same
Let's change
zip
that.
code even. We're in the same zip code. What's up with this?
People need to get out
Let's
more.
make that happen soon.
Yeah, we can't get out. That's the problem. Or we've been out, you don't recognize me because I've got a mask. I actually had lunch at the Umstead today for the first time in 8 months with a good
Yeah.
friend. Yeah, that was interesting.
I think they're still in the kitchen, Jade. Right.
Kathy West has now walked away from her computer. I think we might have a surprise in store, but maybe not.
No, I just got here from the gym.
Gym business. Is that contagious? I hope not.
But I'm going to eat a biscotti as a shout out to Italy.
Wonderful.
You figure there's no free trips to Italy on the line today. You might as well just wear your gym clothes.
I just got here.
You, I'm so proud of you as I take another sip of Aperol Spritz, by the way.
Yeah, it's growing on me, Noria.
You see, it's an acquired taste, but it's just, the more you drink it, the more you like it.
I'm counting on you for that.
Well, welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and launch into the meat of the presentation, or the prosciutto of the presentation today. And we're going to welcome you. I'm Whitney Bradley with Retreats Resources. My cohort and partner Carol Owen is on the call as well. And we host these each Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. We invite you to come back whenever you can. Our lineup is on our website, and we have these booked until after the new year. So we're excited about these. We've had a lot of success with these, and the main reason is because of our host today. Nuria was the brainchild of this way back when, and she launched these for us. I think our first one was in April, and man, she just really hit it out of the park. So she set the standard high, as I think you'll see today. She's a great virtual host and hostess, and she will take us on a whirlwind trip through Italy. We just ask that you, a couple of protocols, keep yourselves muted, please, unless you are, speaking to the host. And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat box. You can turn that on at the bottom of the page. And also, I will be the moderator for those. So I'll make sure that Nuria answers all your questions at the end of the presentation. And now I'll hand it over to Carol, who's going to tell us who our first 5 to log in were.
Indeed. So those of you who have not been with us before, we have a little gift from our presenter today. It's for the first 5 people who log in past 3:55. We don't want you here at 3:30 or 3:45. So we call it the first 5 after 3:55. Those folks are going to be receiving something lovely from Nuria. Nuria, do you want to tell us or show us?
Well, actually, yes. You're going to get, because this is all about Italy by design. Our chat today, our theme, we always have a theme, and it's about design and, all kinds of disciplines on regards to art, culture, architecture, philosophy, whatever it is. But I have this really cool, they're very fun alarm clocks. And I know that an alarm clock doesn't sound very sexy, but it is, when you look at it, it's just a black box. But once it's charged and you touch it, it actually is really cute. There's a lot of thought going into the design. So I thought it was very fitting with our theme. So that's what you guys are going to be getting in this beautiful little box.
That's a great gift. And she's absolutely right. When you go to this part of Italy, every single thing, practical or impractical, has just outstanding design. So that's a really terrific little gift from Nuria, and it will go to this week, Allison Neepkamp, Theodora, Deborah Rich, Steve Parrish, and Sam Bixby. Thank you guys for being on time, dressed and ready to play. We appreciate you. And please, if we don't already have your address, please text them or email them to me, carol@retreatsresources.com, so that we know how to get those little clocks in your hand. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you formally to our partner, Nuria Kandel. As Whitney mentioned, back in April, she suggested that we turn these Wednesday calls into a virtual travel experience to enable us to think about travel again and to do as much as we could, have a virtual experience with food and drink and beautiful photography, and then dressing up and getting in the spirit of things. So we're super grateful to her for having that suggestion. And as Whitney said, for setting the bar so darn high. The chat box just fills up when it's Nuria's turn to present about, this is awesome. I feel like I'm there. So she better be doing a good job today. Governing by her according to the backdrop I see behind her, which is a high design shoe store, I believe we're in for a treat. I also wanted to give a shout out to her colleague, Wendy Gelati, who is in the Midwest, has the Dorchester Collection Market. Hi, Wendy. We are increasingly growing our participant list across the geography. We're no longer all Southerners. So we're happy to have you, Wendy, and maybe you've got some friends and neighbors in this call today, and you're more than welcome to come back every week and bring all your buddies. We want to meet them. All right, so Nuria, are you ready to take us on a trip?
I am, and before taking us on the trip, and thank you so much, Carol and Whitney, you're so wonderful and such great partners, and I'm so thankful. I'm a little nervous. I hope that I don't fall short on this presentation and that you have a great time. But I wanted to introduce you, my dear colleague, Federica, because Federica is calling in from Milan, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and she has guests at her house tonight, but she wanted to be here to say hi to you. And Federica, if you can just say a few words, and then you're more than welcome to go back to your guests that I know are at your house.
Sure, no problem. It's a pleasure. Welcome, everybody. I am very happy that you have the opportunity tonight to have this virtual tour with my lovely colleague Nuria, with our beautiful properties in Milan and Rome. And I really hope to have you as a guest personally soon in Italy, because I know that this is a very difficult and uncertain situation, but at least we try to keep together. We try to continue to present our properties, and we believe that sooner or later, we hope very soon, but the situation gets better, and we start again to personally meeting, because virtual meeting is fine. I think it's a very good idea now, because at least we continue, because we have to continue and to go on. But the personally meeting is another thing. And so I really hope to have you soon in our properties in Italy. Thank you.
Thank you, Federica. Really appreciate it. And you be here with us. So without further ado, I'm going to go and share my screen. So excuse me 1 second. Oh, and this has kind of like jumped to the wrong, whoops, just kind of jumped to the wrong place. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You're seeing, I don't want to see this. Hold on a second. Let me, hold on just 1 second, sorry. Are you able to see just one slide, or do you see two sides? Carol, you're unmuted.
You can see 2 slides.
Okay, so sorry, yeah. Why is this not allowing me, excuse me 1 second, it's just so bizarre. Oops. Sorry, this usually always works perfectly fine. And of course,
okay. It's time for everyone to take a drink.
There you go. No, there you go. You have just one screen, right?
Yes, got it.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So welcome everybody. Benvenuti. I am delighted to be taking you on a journey today. As you know, I am your global contact for Dorchester Collection, handling the East Coast. And hold on, because this is just not working. All right, hold on a second. So sorry. Why is that not moving?
Okay.
Sorry, guys. My screen doesn't want to move. Let me pause. Just 1 second. Gonna share again. Sorry, guys.
Nuria, while you're looking for that, can you tell us about the background that you have? I'm sorry if I missed that in the first 5 minutes, but like, what's the background that you have right now?
This is a fabulous, this is a shoe store, is a Stuart Weitzman shoe store. Isn't that gorgeous?
I love it. Yes.
Yes, me too.
Of course you fix shoes.
Of course. So I'm sorry, I'm just, my wonderful screen will not move. Sorry. It's like I have a duplicate screen. Let me see.
We're all around events all the time. We know how technology can go wrong.
Yes, thank God. I'm with like the very understanding crowd.
That's right.
All right, so I'm sharing this, and now you should be able to see.
We do.
Right, and now
the main one. We can also see the notes. So
all right,
if you have
so
to operate from there, that's fine too.
And now, do you see one screen or two?
No, it went back to the way that it was before. We can absolutely see what you're doing though. There's just 2 slides. It's showing the next slide. It's showing what's coming up next, as well as the one that you're on. So
you see just one now?
There you go.
There you go. All right. Yeah, it just got stuck. But hey, we're here. So thank you for your patience.
You're welcome.
So when we, I'm again your global contact for Dorchester Collection for all our 9 properties. But today we're going to be talking about our properties in Italy. And if you're not very familiar, our 9 hotels are in very sought after locations. We're very proud of the fact that we're not a cookie cutter style hotels. We're very comfortable with groups. Sometimes our guests don't know that we take groups. We love groups. And we're very comfortable with anything from 30 to 50 rooms. Or in Milan, for example, we have 300 rooms. So we, if you come in January, I'll give you 300 rooms. How's that? We have a great customer service. It's second to none because we have a 2.5 and actually it's more like a 3 staff per guest ratio throughout the collection. And for us, obviously very important as well is within that 5-star experience is the food and beverage. So we have 8 Michelin stars throughout our 9 properties. We have happening bars. Who doesn't want to come to the Beverly Hills Hotel, to the Polo Lounge, to have a dinner or a glass of champagne or a drink? So definitely keep exploring our collection. I don't know about you guys, but this is how I feel right now. Since that first presentation, it's been 4 years. I've been loving being at home, but I'm now at the point after 6 months that, you see, I'm that girl on the left. I'm ready to go. You can strap me on top of a plane and I'm ready. And I'm delighted to be taking you to Italy this week, where we're gonna visit my 2 favorite cities, Rome, of course, kind of like a little bit of a degree, the cradle of civilization. And then to Milan, which is the economic center of Italy and has so much to do with design. I love the fact that in this little map, they not only have Il Duomo, but they also have this little pair of shoes. I think it's great. So why Italy by design? Why did we choose this theme? I think that, as we look through history, we have, of course, the Greeks, and there's a lot of different civilizations, but what the Roman Empire gave us I think it's incredible when we look at all the different disciplines that they excelled into, you know, all kinds of art, culture, music, philosophy, food and wine. It is a country that is very steeped in traditions, yet it's so avant-garde. There's so much creativity. They're always ready to reinvent themselves, right? And when I look, or when I think of design, to me that equals style, and there's something unmistakable about Italian design. It is absolutely sublime. It is perfection, either when it comes to, you know, the background, the design of this shoe store, or a piece of clothing, or a piece of furniture. 9 out of 10 times, you're always going to be like, wow, you know, so beautiful. And 9 out of 10 times is going to be design in Italy. So that's kind of like how we wanted to bring this. And for you guys that know me, I always say, darlings, if you're gonna travel, travel in style. And we're gonna have to recycle this slide because our friend Mike, who's right there in the slide, he's traveling this minute. But because we are in a virtual world, a girl can dream, and this girl dreams really, really big. So I'm sending all of you guys a vintage Alfa Romeo to pick you up at their house and take you to the airport. How excited are we? I mean, you can see Greta's face, right? So this doesn't continue because it's all about the journey and not the destination. We're jumping into, of course, first class. What else? First class seats in this beautiful Emirate plane, which was designed by an Italian designer with this beautiful leather and this gorgeous wood. And I don't know if you know, but there are direct flights with Emirates from New York to Milan. So that's a great way to arrive in style. So welcome everybody. We are in Roma. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Rome, but just to let you know of the location of the hotel, we are in one of the famous 7 hills. So if you're at the bottom of the Spanish Steps, we are on top. We're facing Villa Borghese. And this hotel is also steeped in history. The building was built in 1839, so it's 181 years old. And this was the residence of a very wealthy family called the Ludovisi family. The hotel is placed on Via Ludovisi. So clearly, if you have a street named after you, I mean, you're pretty okay, right? You're doing something well. So a few years after, in 1889, a gentleman bought the building and opened the hotel. And as you can imagine, this was the first hotel in Rome that had running water, electricity, an elevator, etc. Dorchester Collection acquired the hotel in 2013, knowing that it was going to need a lot of work and a lot of love. We closed the property in 2015, thinking that our restoration was going to take 8 to 9 months. Well, it took 18 months. And we went from 120 rooms down to 98 rooms. So you can imagine, right? With a building that is 181 years old, reducing the number of rooms, etc. There's a lot that took place. So right now, this property just came back. We brought it back to its old glory. And to me, it is a sophisticated modern day Signorina. This is what the building looks like. And something that is interesting to know is you can see a ledge kind of like on the after the 4th floor, is because the building used to have 4 floors. And then in the 90s, somebody went to the roof. And while they were in the roof, they said, wow, these views are absolutely incredible, but this is being used as the laundry. This is where the linens of the hotel are being hung. And it would be fantastic if somebody actually was able to enjoy it, except for the housekeeping staff. So they added 1 more floor with rooms, and then the top floor, which is where you see all those windows, this is our food and beverage. And half of this space is the kitchen. So can you imagine? These are like, these chefs, I always tell them, like, you are the luckiest chefs in the world with that view. So as we arrive, and to give us out of our transfer, we have 2 very special gentlemen that will say hello to us. On the left is Luca Virgilio, our general manager, and then on the right we have Gaetano. And Gaetano is my lifesaver. We love him very much. He is your group's contact for the property. He looks after the US mice market, and he's not on our call today because he had a wedding in Napoli. So he sends his regards, but he asked me to please say hello to you and how much he appreciates your time. So as we enter through the lobby, again, let's go back to our theme of design. I'm always, to me, it's all about the details. And look at this piece of incredible artisanry. This is carved from a single piece. It's the front desk, and it's made out of one piece of marble, and it's got a replica across from the hallway for the concierge. So truly, this property was brought back to its old glory, to what it was meant to be. And you have these very subtle but very elegant designs. From here, we're gonna go straight to our suites because you know me, I love to spoil my guests and my friends. So we're not gonna stay in rooms, we're gonna stay in suites. And you can tell that this design, feels very residential. You can tell how tall the ceilings are in every single floor, not just in the couple of first floors like many European buildings have. This goes throughout the entire property. And something that you can notice is that you can see greenery outside of your door because we are facing the Villa Borghese gardens. We're on top of a hill. So this is not something that you will find everywhere in Italy where the real estate is very limited and the buildings are very close to each other. Ladies, this is something to make mention. It needs no caption. Hashtag walk-in closet goals. That's what we're gonna leave it at, right? So anybody that doesn't know what to give me for my birthday, give me this closet, por favor. And look how cute, oh my God, the peeps from the Eden. They gave a nice little welcome to Retreats Resources. They know that we just arrived and we're a little bit tired. So we're gonna have a little nibble. I'm gonna give you a couple of hours. Just relax, take a nap, shower, and I'm gonna see you put on your walking shoes because we are literally going to eat our way through the city. We're going on a walking tour and we're gonna stop and eat along the way. So, vámonos. All right, so the hotel is behind this church. This is the top, these are the Spanish steps. So we're at the bottom of the Spanish steps, looking up behind this church, that's where the hotel is located. And as we make our way to the Trevi Fountain, we're gonna stop in La Prosciutteria. So you know that I'm Spanish, you know that pork is a whole food group in its own. I love jamon, chorizo, prosciutto, you name it. I love it. So let's go in here, have a little prosciutto, a little cheese, and a little vino. And from here, we're gonna walk over to the Trevi Fountain. And I don't know if you're aware of this. I love this initiative. The problem that Italy has in general is that they have all of these incredible masterpieces throughout all cities, big and small in Italy, and is cost prohibitive for the government to be able to do maintenance and upkeep and cleanups, etc. So some incredible companies, corporations are coming forward and adopting a building so that they can take care of the maintenance. So for example, Fendi, the fashion house, adopted the Trevi Fountain and they did this incredible cleanup. And I have to tell you, I wish that I had a before picture because it was all black from pollution and it looks spectacular right now. From here, we're gonna just keep on going and we're gonna have a little crudo. And crudo is the equivalent of carpaccio. So carpaccio is usually for meat. Crudo is seafood and we can see some octopus here and some prawns. With truffle, of course, because we came during truffle season and, you know, everything is better with truffle. So, you know, why not? Next stop, Piazza Navona. So we're going to explore the little churches and a couple of small museums and the main fountain, which is the central piece of the Piazza Navona. And we're gonna spend a little bit of time of here. And from here, we'll walk around the corner to Da Francesco. And this is where I go whenever I'm in Rome and I just want like authentic pasta. It's a place where there's a ton of locals and I come for my pasta. So there are 3 pastas that are very unique to Rome. carbonara. This is carbonara. Then you have cacio e pepe and amatriciarca. And we're gonna have a little bit of taste of each one of them. We're not gonna eat too much because we're walking, but definitely I thought that this was something that we had to do. And from there, we're gonna go to the Pantheon. And in the Pantheon, I love, of course, I go inside and we're gonna take a look at it, but I always love trying to find this lady. Her medium is actually cardboard. So she takes cardboard boxes and then she paints these really Roman, very classic renditions of, for example, here she's got Romulo and Remo with a she-wolf and different monuments that you can find around Rome, but she puts them in cardboard. So I try to find her and buy a piece of art from her because I love supporting also, you know, artists whichever way I can. And then finally, we're going to, of course, we're in Italy, so we're gonna go and have espresso. And we're gonna do it like the Italians. We're not gonna sit down at a table, we're gonna go at the bar and we're gonna drink it in the bar. And not sure if you know this or not, but the same item has different prices based on if you sit at a table or if you consume at the bar. If you consume at the bar, they're cheaper because they don't have to tend to you. So in any case, I think that it's just like the coolest thing to be at the bar, take your espresso, and off we go. So I'm gonna give you a couple of hours. You guys can either walk around, do a little bit of shopping, relax, whatever you want. We're meeting here at the lobby at 6 o'clock, and we're gonna do a tour of the hotel, and we're gonna eat here at the hotel. So you can wear your estilettos if you want. We're not gonna go out on the street. I know it's been a long day, we just arrived, so we're gonna take it easy tonight. So welcome everybody. We're gonna start our tour of the hotel with the meeting space. Remember, it's just 98 rooms and the meeting space represents that. So I love the combination of the old and the new. You can see the frescoes throughout the property, those are original. But then this carpet that looks like a mosaic, I think it's just super cool and super fun and very unique. We have an office, we have a boardroom, which you can see, and then this is the larger room. It's 1,000 square feet, so ideal for, you know, up to perhaps 100 people in rounds. Remember, smaller groups, ideal for this property. We will continue into the rooms. We're gonna go and see the rooms and see where other people stay, because yeah, we're staying in suites. You can see the design, is very similar. The color scheme changes a little bit. But something throughout all of the rooms are these incredible bathrooms, which honestly take your breath away. The marble is so white, it's almost transparent. And you have this gorgeous mosaic. It's gold leaf and mother of pearl that are just stunning. So from here, we're gonna go now to visit our top floor. Remember, the top floor is where we have our food and beverage. And as soon as we step from the elevator, we're gonna go into the bar. So yes, these are the pretty incredible views that we have from the top of the hotel. As I mentioned, we're facing the Villa Borghese Gardens. You can see the two little domes that I mentioned earlier when we were at the bottom of the Spanish Steps. And in between those two domes, there's a larger dome, that's St. Peter's Basilica. And the most incredible thing is that we get the sunsets. So every single event, proposal, special birthday, you name it, we host. On top of that, if you think that this couldn't get any more amazing, these windows that you see, those are like garage doors. So the entire thing opens up based on the weather. Little glass rises up for security, but you're able to enjoy and really feel like you're outdoors. So you guys that know me well, you know that my favorite sport is eating. And we're starting right here with the aperitivo. The aperitivo is a super Italian affair. It's very similar to tapas. You usually meet your friends after work, have a drink, and they always bring you a complimentary little bite. So we're gonna have an aperitivo, we're gonna have a little drink, enjoy the view. And from here, I have a little surprise for you. We're gonna go to the Aurora Terrace suite because today, of course, the weather is absolute perfection. And I think that we need to enjoy this weather. So we're just going to enjoy the terrace. This was Ingrid Bergman's favorite suite. She always stayed here. We're just going to have some nibbles. I know that we're all very tired. We might want just a little bit something lighter for dinner. We will enjoy these. And then whenever we're ready, if any of you wants to follow me, we're going to go to La Libreria in the main lobby for one last drink. And what I love about La Libreria, which is the library, is these two mirrored doors that open up and ta-da, we have a bar. So I love the ta-da little bar action. So I'm super tired. I'm sure that you are. Let's go back to our rooms. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure that you have comfy shoes because we're gonna walk a lot. And oh my goodness, I get to my room and what do we find? We find a note, a little amenity from the hotel, tour retreats resources, because yes, all roads lead to Rome. So, buongiorno, everybody. Buongiorno per la mattina. We're gonna have breakfast, of course, in the rooftop. I love going to Europe because I love savory, and there's always the prosciutto and the cheese and the salmon that I totally love. And this is a view of Il Giardino, which is our other side, is next to the bar. So in Il Giardino, we have these, as I mentioned earlier, we have the same type of windows where you can open and close. There is an outdoor area if you wanted. You know, so we're just gonna have our breakfast here. And you know, this week was National Daughters Week in America. So I thought that why shouldn't we put in our cappuccino a nice little picture of Carol's and Whitney's daughters so that they are not missing them so much. So we love you girls, and I know that you're missing your daughters, but here they are keeping you company. All right, so we are now going to, we're gonna walk a lot. I hope you're ready. So we are going to the most probably ancient part of Rome. We're gonna visit El Colosseum, the Forum, and the Palatine Hill. And this, what you see right here, this always blows my mind. I love history. And to me, to think that Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, Augustus, that they walk these streets where I'm walking now, that is so incredible. The Forum was built, it's kind of like the most, to a degree, sacred part when it comes to culture of Rome. People started having their first public meetings in this area in the year 500 BC. All right, this is pretty incredible. And these ruins that you see, there are some temples, but mainly are buildings where people would go and meet. And these are basically where the government kind of took place and where things happened. Which is very interesting. Then, of course, we're gonna go to the Colosseum. And the Colosseum by itself is just such a feat of design. This is the first freestanding amphitheater. And you might recall, usually an amphitheater, the portion where people are sitting lays against a hill. Well, this was the first time that this was freestanding. It was finished in the year 70 AD, 70. So imagine way back then, to build this, and it was built in only 10 years, which absolutely blows my mind. 10 years to build this. It could held at the time 55,000 spectators. Can you imagine what took to build this? And right now it kind of looks like that, but you have to think that this was, every column and every surface was covered with marbles, with beautiful stones that unfortunately were pillaged by rich people throughout the centuries, and especially the Vatican. They took all of those beautiful marbles to build palaces and, you know, St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican, etc. So, you know that I always do something really cool with you guys because, you know, I mean, it's me. So if you lived back then, this area that you see caved in, this would have been covered, and this was the arena, right? So it was a flat surface, and this was called the arena. What you see there underneath is this area, is the underground. And it is very restricted, but of course, you're with me, so I'm taking you on a tour of the underground. And what this means, or what this translates into, this is kind of like a backstage tour. right? This was built in order to entertain people. The Colosseum was built after Emperor Nero killed himself, and he was a terrible, terrible person, and he was only thinking of himself. So the following two emperors basically flattened the place where he had built his palace and his gardens, built the Colosseum to give it back to their subjects so that the subjects could enjoy. So this was a matter of enjoyment, entertainment, very theatrical. Now you need to, I mean, their entertainment is a little bit different than our entertainment, right? So think of this, very humid, very dark, there wasn't light, and this is the waiting area of the gladiators, the animals that they had caged in here. I mean, they had from elephants to giraffes to lions, etc. And what you're looking here is a replica of one of the mechanical lifts that they operated. It was operated by 16 slaves, each one of them. They had about 60 around the arena. Just imagine, wrap your hand around that. And this basically was hoisted. They hoisted the animals and the gladiators, and all of a sudden a window would open up on the arena, and those gladiators and animals would spring, kind of like shocking the spectators. And something that was really crazy is that they starved, especially the lions, for days, so that whenever they would be up on the arena, they would, you know, perform better. A little bit crazy. So after the Colosseum, we're gonna hit the Palatine Hill, and this is also where a lot of museums and government buildings and temples were built. This was where the most, probably the rich Romans of the time lived, because it was in a very desirable area. You had a lovely breeze, and it was not on the bottom of the hill where it was dirty and everybody else lived. So this is the original hill of Rome. It is believed that the she-wolf, this is where in her cave she raised Romulo and Remo, whom you might know. Romulus killed Remus, and then he founded Rome in the year 753 BC. So we've walked a lot, it's hot. So we're gonna meet my husband, Matt. He's waiting for us in La Birreria. He's just made sure that we have, you know, some tables and seats. And from here, we're gonna go and have pizza because, hey, what better than some pizza? We're gonna go to Emma, is my favorite place. I know some of us might be freaking out because they're anchovies, but I love anchovies in my pizza. Don't worry, I have truffle up there. You can see it, I have truffle for you. And once we've taken a bite and a drink, we're gonna have another action-packed afternoon. We're gonna go to Vatican City. And in Vatican City, there are 3 things that we visit that you can see. I could honestly spend an entire week talking about the Vatican, but I'm not gonna do this to you. But the main 3 things that you can visit are the Vatican Museums, the Sistine Chapel, and St. Peter's Basilica. So as we walk through the Vatican Museums, I want you to remember, I want you to come back. You see this on the left-hand side, this gentleman that is obviously in a lot of pain because him and his sons are being beaten and killed by this snake. So just remember him, because we're gonna see him later in a different slide. So as we walk through the museums and the Sistine Chapel, I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. In St. Peter's Basilica, there are 2 things I wanna tell you about that I think are incredible. All of this color that you see, well, there's a lot of marble here that was stolen from the Colosseum, by the way. But something that I thought it was remarkable is the fact that not a single drop of paint was used in the decoration of St. Peter's Basilica. All the color that you see here comes from mosaics, from stones, from marble, and from gold leaf. Not a single drop of picture. That blew my mind. And another thing that I wanted to just kind of show to you is La Pietà. This sculpture took my breath away. La Pietà was completed, it was by Michelangelo. He was in his early 20s. This was his first sculpture ever. and the only piece that he signed to his name, and he carved this out of one single piece of marble. And the detail on the ropes, the face, the crown, it is absolutely incredible. It is, when you see it up close, it's just fabulous. Something also that I find really interesting throughout the construction of St. Peter's Basilica is that Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci were architects at several times. So much incredible talent together. Well, I know you're exhausted, so we're gonna hit the spot. Because I know you peeps, and I know that you're like, oh my God, she's killing us. But I mean, we have to see these things, right? So take your time, relax, and then I'm gonna see you on the top floor of the hotel at La Terrazza, because we're gonna have a beautiful dinner. So, ciao everybody, we're back in La Terrazza, admiring our gorgeous views. And I have somebody really interesting to introduce you to, and this is Chef Fabio. Fabio is one of the nicest people in the world, and he is so proud of his craft. Again, you know, Italy by design. To me, the culinary arts are as important as painting or carpentry or anything else. And this man is so true to his craft. While the hotel was closed, before the hotel closed, he designed the kitchen himself so that he was very, very efficient and everything worked like clockwork. And on top of that, he got his master's degree in nutrition. So not only you're going to enjoy an amazing, amazing meal, but it's going to be really good for you. So he's going to give us a little tour of the kitchen while we have a little franciacorta and few appetizers, and they've set up a beautiful table for us. And, you know, I know that Cara told me today that she had a friend in Rome, and she wanted to know if he could join us for dinner. And I said, yes, of course, Cara, just bring him, you know, no problem. So here he is. And yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but anyway, I'm always happy to meet, you know, su amigo is mi amigo. So there you go. So let's sit down at the table and we're going to enjoy some masterpieces of the culinary arts. This is wonderful scallops. This is burrata with carciofi. This has to be the most beautiful cacio pepe I have seen in my entire life. Really, I mean, something incredible. A little veal, and then we have a deconstructed tiramisu, which not only looks fabulous, but it tastes delicious. And as I told you, we get the sunset. So as our culinary journey evolves, we can also see how the beautiful lights change and, you know, upon the city. So I think that I need a digestive. So let's head to the bar. And we have a little break from here, and something that I wanted to show you and to just show how fashions and tastes change. This is the bar nowadays. This is the bar when it first opened. And of course, when this first opened, I mean, this was all the rage, right? I can see totally Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack just having drinks here, like totally. And this was the original restaurant, which is so fun. And I love sharing these kind of pictures. And oh, I almost forgot. Well, I want to introduce you to our artist in residence. This is Andrea Ferolla. And Andrea comes to the hotel and he sits down, and he sometimes is in the lobby, sometimes is in the bar or in the restaurant. And he waits until inspiration strikes him. And then he does these beautiful sketches, and you may or may not get one of his sketches in your room. You never know, but I think it's a pretty cool thing to have a resident artist. I'm exhausted, I'm so tired, I'm going to my room, I'm gonna hit that bathtub, I'm gonna take a bath, relax, and remember we have to pack because we're traveling to Milano tomorrow. And as I go and get into my bed, look at that. He gave us a nice little sketch. That Andrea, he's so nice. So, buongiorno everybody. I didn't think I could eat anymore, but before we took the train, I had to have my hot chocolate, that it's delicious. So welcome everybody. We're jumping on the Freccia Rossa, which means the red arrow, and it's gonna take us about 3.5 hours to get to Milan. We're traveling on business class, of course, and we have little to-go boxes in case we get a little hungry that we can use for our lunch. So welcome to Milano and welcome to the Principe di Savoia. We are in a great location. We're not right smack on the city center, and this was done by design. This hotel opened in 1927, and although the city center is about 20-minute walk, it was built thinking of all the business travelers that the city had, because Milan, a lot of people will say, oh, it's very industrial. Well, there is a lot of industry, but it's outside of the city. It's not in the city. So I would like for you to know and to learn Milan and what really is. Again, it's the economic center. There is a ton of art, culture, architecture. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful city. To me, Milan is the new Barcelona, the new Madrid, the new Lisbon, because everybody loves Italy. But a lot of people have perhaps been to Rome, Florence, or Venice, not to Milan. Milan has a lot to offer, and it's very unexpected. So there's, within the city, there's all these beautiful buildings and palazzos. The industry, it's outside. And the hotel was open close to the train station, so thinking that when people would come into Milano, they would stay at the Principe, and then they would go and do their business a little bit outside of the city. So absolutely genius. So the property is, again, 93 years old. And this is now, you can see on the right-hand side, the white building, that's the Principe. And there's this whole new area that has been repurposed. It's called Porta Nova, the new gate. You can see it's very modern. And this is where now all of the new companies are moving into. So the Googles of the world, a lot of tech companies, financial companies, they're opening their offices here. So there are offices, there are ateliers, there are residential buildings. There's a great mix. And just at the end, you can see that very, very tall building with the needle is just a 10-minute walk. And that's where Corso Como starts, which is a great shopping area. So this is the Principe when it opened, and this is today. And you can see it is a larger building because as time went on, we added buildings to it. And right now is our biggest hotel with 300 rooms. So as we step into the lobby, we're gonna have two very lovely people welcoming us. We have Mr. Indiani, our general manager, that of course sends his regards, and then Federica, who said hello to you. We're checking in, and off the front desk, you have this area, which is Il Salotto, is our kind of the living room, and this is your home in Milan. So this is your living room. This is where people, everybody comes and goes through the day. It's great for like people watching, especially around Fashion Week. We're gonna go straight to our suites. We're gonna freshen up, and from here we're going to then just drop our bags and go on because we have a great afternoon. But before we go on, I think that we should just have a little bite. It's nice that our friends at the Principe put some macarons and a little bubbly. You know me, what's my theme? Everything is better with bubbly. So, we just kind of continue with it. So first activity of the day, I'm very, very excited to show this to you. You may be familiar with this. This is La Scala Theater, which is one of the most famous opera houses in the world. And it's a great building. It's fantastic to go for tours. You can see that they've made additions, but I'm not gonna take you to La Scala. I'm gonna take you to an incredible place. I'm gonna take you to the Ansaldo workshops, and not a lot of people even know of this. The La Scala Theater and the Metropolitan Opera in New York City are the only two opera houses in the world that build 100% their own production design. So anything that goes on the stage, the costumes, the shoes, the jewelry, everything is made by them. And then in turn, they rent it or they lent it to other opera houses to use for their productions. So pictures are not allowed, but I was allowed to take pictures of a picture. And it's really incredible. You walk through these amazing warehouses. You are in a balcony basically, or a catwalk, and you see all the artisans working. I mean, these are, if you can see, there are 4 grown men that are basically folding this hand-painted, it's a curtain that goes on the stage, right? This is the production that will be hung and be used in an opera. And this is absolutely amazing. They have different areas where they have carpentry, paint, mechanics, sculpture. This is a sample of the sculpture. And because of the amount of weight, they have to control the weight on a stage. Sometimes in an opera, you can easily have 100 people on stage. So in order to control the weight, anything that is very large is built with styrofoam. So this sculpture that you see is styrofoam, which is incredible. There is an area where they keep 60,000 costumes. They've been collected since the year 1911 for over 280 production. And they are kept in 1,400 separate wardrobes. So every person that is in an opera has 2 outfits, complete with jewelry, shoes, you name it, everything. It is so fantastic. So after this, I'm gonna take you to another very, very special place. This is probably the most visited place in all of Milan. This is the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie, and it's very famous because it houses the Last Supper. And you may know or may not know, this was painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1495 and 98. It took about 3 years. And it is very controlled access because Leonardo da Vinci decided that he wanted to take his time. It was all about attention to detail for him. And he didn't want to paint al fresco. So when you paint al fresco, the plaster is still wet. You apply the paint, and then the plaster absorbs the pigment and it seals it. Well, what happens is that with that technique, you have to paint very fast, and he didn't want to do that. So he let the plaster dry, 2 coats of plaster, and then he applied the pigment. What happens when you do that is that then in a few years, the paint starts flaking and degrading. So you can imagine how long it took, right? It's about 500 years. So it went through World War II, through wars with Napoleon. There was a bomb that fell, and the entire convent actually was blown up, except for the wall where the Last Supper is, which is considered a miracle, and rightly so, I guess. So after we see this beautiful masterpiece, we're gonna walk around the corner, and I'm gonna take you to a 14th century palazzo. We're gonna meet a count and a countess, husband and wife duo, and they have built in their house a cooking class space. So we're going to learn how to make pasta. We're going to cook our own dinner, and then we're going to enjoy it in their beautiful dining room. How cool is that, right? Amazing. So much fun. So from here, we're just going to head over back to the hotel, and you know our group, you know us. So we're going to have one more at the bar. I just want to point out our beautiful chandelier, which is made of 3,000 individual pieces of Murano glass. And we all know it's all about the detail. So what better vessel, you know, another Murano masterpiece to have, you know, a Baltini. How cute is this? Absolutely love it. And speaking of cuteness, here's Ambrogio. Ambrogio is the mascot of the Principe, because, you know, sometimes you might kiss a frog and get your Principe, but if you don't get your Principe, hey, who cares? We have Ambrogio, who's super cute, and he's bringing some little bonbons and little desserts for our Retreats Resources group. I mean, these guys are so cute. So anywho, sleep well. Tomorrow's our last day, but still very busy. So the first thing that I'm doing today, I'm hitting La Palestra. La Palestra is the gym, And not only because I've been eating too much during this trip, but also because that's on the top floor of the hotel, is on the 10th floor. And we have these beautiful views of Porta Nova that I showed you earlier. So after that, don't worry, I'm having breakfast. Our beautiful hostess is gonna walk us over to our table in Acanto, and this is our beautiful restaurant that we have. So, you know, 2 days ago, it was National Daughters Week here in America, and then 2 days later, it was National Sons Day. So Carol, we didn't want your son to be jealous, so we had to feature him in your cappuccino so that you don't miss him too much, okay? All right, so we are going to go to the city center and we are jumping on the tram. Milan has a tram. You can, you know, just use it like a bus or a metro, and it's very efficient, and I personally love trams. So we're gonna take it, and it just in 10 minutes, we're gonna be in the city center and we're gonna visit Il Duomo, which is one of Milan's, you know, most incredible masterpieces. What is really remarkable to me, remember I told you the Colosseum was built in 10 years. Il Duomo took almost 6 centuries. So although, you know, a lot of politics in Italy, that's sometimes how things go. But its construction started in 1386 and it was finished in 1965. It's mainly a great example of Gothic architecture, but it took such a long time to be built that, you know, you see a lot of different styles. You see Neo-Gothic, you see some so I guess it's called romantic in English. Sorry, you know that my English sometimes is a little so. But something that I love about and that I learned is that, you know, Milano has canals. It's not like in Florence, but they do have canals, and they were dug out so that they could bring marble from the quarries to the city center. And this is a great example. The entire floor of the cathedral is built, is decorated with these beautiful marble mosaics.
Cheers.
The coolest thing to me when it comes to this cathedral, I believe is the only cathedral in the world where you can go to the rooftop. So these are pictures that I personally taken. You can either take stairs or a small elevator, and you can go all the way and you're on the rooftop of the cathedral. Absolutely amazing. I think it's fantastic. So we're gonna go down to the ground level and we're going to go through the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele. And this is a great, beautiful building. This was, if you want to call it, was probably Italy's first kind of like mall, a very nice version of a mall. So this was all a shopping area of very affluent residents. And in Milan, the weather in the winter gets quite cold. It snows, it rains. So they build these arcades that are covered so the ladies could go and shop and dine and not get, you know, rained on or snowed on. And I'm gonna give you some time. Esther and I are super excited because we're gonna go to one of our favorite stores. And it's just around the corner where we find 2 of our favorite things in the world, shoes and chocolate. So yes, we have to go and get some shoes made of chocolate. From here, we're gonna just step on the back door of the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele into an area called Brera. So you see, this is what Milan looks like. You have these beautiful buildings, palazzos, 3-4 stories maximum. It's really, really quaint, very beautiful. And Brera is very artistic. Another one of my favorite stores is Peck. And this is where we're gonna stop next. It is a gourmet boutique and everything is handmade and everything is made daily. They have a little restaurant on the back so we can, you know, do some purchases of souvenirs, chocolates, any kind of sweets, any kind of beautiful canned tunas and pastas. This is usually where I come and buy my pasta. And then we are gonna go into an atelier experience. So we've been talking about design and how important, I mean, how critical I think it's design for a city like Milan. Even more and more it's been developing. So in Brera, I'm gonna take you to different ateliers so that we can experience that creativity. And first, we're gonna go to this center. Is a few buildings that are put together where we have some of the artists that work from there. Each artist has a room or a different area where you can take pictures, you can buy what they are making, you can watch them, you can ask them what is, that inspires them. I'm always fascinated by what people do. So on the left-hand side, this chandelier is made with plastic hangers, clothing hangers. And then do you remember Laocoonte? Do you remember when we were in the Vatican Museum and I said, look at that guy that, the snake is biting and he was going through all this pain? Well, clearly that is a terrible thing that it's happening, but then there's Minnie being a little naughty. So, hey, it's art, right? What can I say? Of course, we can go anywhere in Milan without coming across an atelier of a fashion designer. And there's several ateliers that are open where you can go and talk to them and see what inspires them and what their creative process is, and you can buy something from them and support them. And finally, I think that this is a cool piece of art which combines technology and nature. This is it's like a kind of a TV where a window has been mounted. This is a real fit. This is a watering hole in South Africa, and this is being recorded 24/7. So if you perhaps wanted, you see, this is an open window to something that is happening on the other side of the world. And maybe I wanna go back and see what happened at 4 o'clock, 4:05 in the morning. I can see what happened. So again, art is, something very subjective to everybody. And we're heading back to the hotel. I'm gonna give you some time off. Oh my goodness, as I go to my room, what do we have? We have an Aperol Spritz amenity. And I don't like drinking alone, so I'm gonna call on my friends Kim and John. They're next to me in my room, which is wonderful. And then remember, we have, I don't know if I told you, but on the 10th floor by the gym, we have a pool. And I have a couple of friends in our group here that love pools. One of them is yours truly, that lovely Kelly, that say, hey, join me. And listen, how could we not? She's got her beautiful Prosecco. She's telling us, I'll be there in a Prosecco. That's her t-shirt. But I would like for you to pay attention to that wonderful ring that she's wearing. We're so excited for you, Kelly, and your engagement. We're thrilled, delighted, and we love you very, very much. So yeah, I'm joining you in that pool. I'm on my way. So I'm gonna see you guys in 2 hours in the lobby so that we can actually do a tour of the hotel and have dinner, right? Alrighty, so we're almost there, guys. Welcome again. I hope that you had a great rest or shopping or whatever it is. We're gonna go through some of the rooms first so that we can, so that you guys can see the different styles, very similar, different colors, and our beautiful suites. We have huge, super large suites. So if you have any groups that wanted to have perhaps, a client that wants a meeting or entertain in a suite, it's definitely something that we can do. All of our meeting space has been redone in the last year, so it's brand new. We have 11 rooms, with the biggest room being 8,000 square feet, but just really beautiful. And something that you might notice is all these frescoes that we have through the meeting space, through the hallways of the hotel, that cover 32,000 square feet of surface. Can you imagine? Of frescoes? It's incredible. So we're gonna end our little tour in our presidential suite because I think it's super cool. You see Carol's already there. Carol's waiting for us. And this is an area where, sometimes we've done events here. It has its own swimming pool. Of course, they were waiting for us. They knew that we were coming, so they set up a little something for us. We're gonna have a little aperitivo. But the surprise that I have for you is that because we came during Fashion Week, there's a fashion show going on. So the designer invited us to come and see his designs and his models and his clients and just kind of like have a chat with him. I'm loving the fact that you ladies are having such a great time and really enjoying the evening. And in one of the rooms, I don't know, it's actually in the dining room, the designer set up this really cool casino theme, so we can go and just kind of you know, play with posh money. So let's go down to the restaurant. I don't see Carol and Whitney. Let me go, because this suite has like 9 different rooms. So let me see if I can find them. But I know them well enough where I think that they could be. Of course they are in the pool, of course. And because I know how much they love their coconuts, I have a couple of those on standby because they really like sipping out of those coconuts. So I got you, girls, don't worry, it's all good. All right, let's go down to Acanto, to the restaurant, and Alessandro is waiting for us to make a beautiful dinner. You can talk about Italy without talking food and art and culture. And I just wanted to touch on the point that both Luciano Pavarotti and Maria Callas, they always stayed at the Principe whenever they performing at La Scala. And when they come back late after their performance, that's when they ate. So we made a special pasta, which we changed the name to Pavarotti pasta. It's made with zucchini, tomatoes, and ricotta. And then Maria Callas always loved to eat the penne alla norma, which is made with eggplant, tomatoes, and ricotta. So we're going a little bit more avant-garde. Our chef Alessandro decided that he wanted to show a little bit his creativity and also the marriage of old flavors and new techniques that you can really see in his presentation. Especially in this beautiful dessert. This looks like a hard-boiled egg, but it is made with marshmallow and mango puree. So, you know, I hope that you enjoy your dinner. I know I did, and I think that since we leave tomorrow, we should have one last drink. I'm so happy that Carol and Whitney just got there before so that they could, you know, save us a spot. But it's been amazing to share with you these 4 days. I sell the dream, but my incredible team are the ones that make it happen. They are so genuine and they truly care about every single guest that comes through the door and every single person being a VIP. I know a couple of you might stay longer, so if you are, you could experience perhaps, or you could enjoy the Alfa Romeo or the Ferrari experience. You could go to Lake Como for the day, or maybe do an overnight. But I don't want to say goodbye to you. It's just an arrivederci because I know that I will see you very soon. So ladies and gentlemen, this was it. I'm sorry I went a little bit over. I'm gonna stop sharing now so we can chat. But thank you for your time. Thank you. I'm gonna take this off now. Thank you.
For a standing ovation or something, people. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo.
I had a blast putting this together. I felt like I went back to school.
That was amazing.
I feel breathless on your behalf. That was amazing.
Thank you.
So much work, so much work. Great job.
Well, your knowledge of history and architecture and design and just every element, food, and your beautiful ability to tell stories. I mean, I feel like I have just gone to Italy, and you know, congratulations to you. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, and you get my month's payment to Netflix and Comcast this month. You're better than anything I've got on that damn television.
I appreciate that. And I don't know you, but I need a drink.
So do I.
One long run-on sentence, Nuria, I tell you.
Oh, Nuria, you've really outdone yourself once again. And I've been looking at the chat box, but you're so thorough. Your presentation is so thorough that you answer everyone's questions. I mean, there are no questions here, only wonderful comments, just wonderful. How you know, engaging this is and how beautiful. And wow, you know, I can't get over that someone in their wisdom early on said, yes, the laundry people need to be on the top floor of that hotel. But what they do deserves the best view in our hotel. But, you know, thankfully they did, you know, switch things around. Just all of both locations are just stunning. They're really stunning.
Thank you. And it all comes, it's so funny, right? Because it all comes from necessity. Because again, if you think, right, like 100 years ago, right? I mean, there was no dryers or anything. So where would you dry your linens?
In the sun.
In the roof, in the sun. with the wind, right? It's really incredible. And then of course, as things progress and, you know, and people have dryers, hey, I want to give a shout out, Rob. I want to give a shout out because it's one of Rob's team members in Bel Air that helps me with this incredible work of photo shooting, and especially Kelly's arm. I took Kelly's arm from a picture. Sorry, I took Kelly's picture from Facebook, and in that picture, there's no arm. I can't remember what it is, but there's no arm. She's against something. So I was like, this is gonna be really weird. I don't know how you're gonna make it happen, but please make it happen. And then he sends me this picture. Kyle sends me the picture with the arm. I'm like, oh my God.
So perfect. I couldn't
It was
believe
amazing.
So good.
I've never looked so good. Thank you, Rob.
The pictures
And congratulations.
in Beverly Hills also, Nuria, the pictures on the cappuccino, those were brilliant.
No, that's actually, no, this is a real cappuccino. So Gaetano from Rome. So all the amenities are real amenities. Our pastry team in both in Rome and in Milan did those pastries for you, and they took them to the rooms and they took pictures. And the cappuccino foam is, it's from the hotels. They have the machine. I took the picture from your Facebook, and I sent it to them, and they were able to put them in your cappuccino.
Do you have pictures, or do I have to watch this entire video again and do screenshots?
I can send it to you. No, of course, I'll send it to you. Of course.
Not that I mind watching it again, but I need a few days to catch my breath.
I think so does Nuria.
Yeah.
Great job.
Well, before we sign off, Nuriel, we'll come back to you, but I want to hand it over to Kelly McAllister with Maui Jim. Kelly's been on our calls since the dawn of time, and she
out of sunglasses soon, I'm sure.
Yes, and she's just lovely, and she will be awarding our gift this week for the person that she thinks went all in on our theme. So Kelly, take it away.
Thank you very much. And my shameless plug to Maui Jim and their smart move years and years ago, because there are certain things that if you want like the best in the world, right? Like you know that there are certain places to go. Art, of course, Italy is just the undisputed talent, and our owners saw that as well. And so all of our acetate materials, anything that's got more design in it, anything that's got more color in it is made in Italy. And so Deborah Rich, happy shopping. Congratulations. You blew us away with your Italian, with your great outfit. And I hope that you I know that Deborah will find a very colorful style.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's a treat. Thank you.
Oh, our pleasure.
So if you were one of the first 5, and that includes you, Deborah, Steve Parrish, Allison.
It's my lucky day.
Dora, and one more. I can't remember. I have to look at
Sam Bixby.
Sam. Okay, please send me your mailing addresses. Email carol@retreatsresources.com. We'll get it to Nuria.
And Nuria, Nuria, one more thing, if I could. I'm sorry if I interrupted you, Carol, but I have some pictures that I took at the Hotel Eden last April when I was there, and I'd love to share them with everyone, including the food that I ate. As you know, I love food as well.
Could you, Deborah, would you mind putting like a photo album up on our private Facebook page, our hospitality family page, so that we can all see those?
Oh yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. If you don't mind, I'll share them on your page.
We want to continue to support Dorchester throughout the week on that, and that's our main forum for doing that. So this is why I end up begging you for selfies or anything else that you've got to help support this theme this week and support Nuria and her phenomenal hotel collection and her amazing friendship and the job that she does for us, making this such an interesting way to spend a Wednesday. So anybody, send me whatever resources you've got, and we will make sure that we share them far and wide. Wanted to finally thank you guys for being here. All of you newbies, please come back. We are just launching our fall and winter series, our fall series. You can see that lineup on our website. Most of you should have gotten a flyer this morning. You can go ahead and register for the entire series on one Zoom link. So if you need that, please send either Whitney or I a little note, and we'll be sure you have that link. We've got some great stuff coming up. And next week is the second in our series of Hotel Hotties. So here's the deal. Next week, we're going to be talking to 2 award-winning brand new properties as part of the Auberge collection. So Gail McClurkin will be back, and we're going to be visiting the wide open spaces. So we'll be visiting with Bishop's Lodge, which is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and they have renovated that hotel and are getting ready to open. And then Blue Sky Resort, which is in Utah, not far from Deer Valley. And that's going to be a wonderful experience in the great outdoors with a very interesting design aesthetic as well. So next week, 2 new hotel hotties from the Condé Nast Hot List, Resort at Blue Sky and Bishop's Lodge, both part of the Auberge collection. So think about wide open spaces, thinking about being hot, whatever that means to you. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bachi, bachi.
Thank you, Naria. Thank you,
Carol.
Kelly.
Carol, Whitney, by
Thank you,
chance,
Kelly.
did anybody check, was anybody watching the Today Show this morning when Dr. McDreamy was on?
I forgot. Sorry, thanks, Wendy.
Just in case anyone was tuned in, I heard it in the background, and all of a sudden I heard Dr. McDreamy talking about his new series, and he stayed at the Hotel Eden when he was in Rome. So he went to talk on a little bit about how the producer of the show gave him truffles, and too many truffles at that. And he brought it to the chef, and the chef, along with the hotel staff, prepared risotto and truffles for him in the kitchen of the hotel, and you saw a chef there. And he calls it home. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was curious to see if anyone had caught that today.
So was it Patrick Dempsey or that redheaded guy or the other guy? I get them all confused.
No, he's, what's his name again? Patrick Dempsey.
The original McDreamy, yeah.
Yeah, so it was so ironic, and I knew we were talking today. I didn't know if you caught it or not. You're probably working by then. I'm Midwest.
I can go back and rewatch it. Well, Whitney definitely was.
No.
I wanted to say thank you so much for being with us. You're just as awesome as Nuria. Well, maybe not.
No, I can't do. Oh, that's amazing.
And we're so happy to have you. So please join in anytime you want, and join up on our, send us a request to join our private Facebook page and chime in. We'd love to see you engaging with everybody.
Well, Carol, I did happen to invite a couple folks that were on today because they are sourcing Rome and Milan. So,
Good.
clearly that sparked some interest. So
good. Well,
and we want people to source Europe right now, right?
We certainly do.
So thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you, Nuria, once again, just
you rocked it.
Can we travel together at some point?
Can you just start your own tour business?
I mean, we could just go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It doesn't have to be anything great. I just want to travel somewhere with you. I think it would be just fantastic.
Well, Esther got to.
Yeah, I had the most incredible experience, my own private tour of the back streets of Milan. It was wonderful.
There's a line item on my bucket list now, just to travel with Nuria. Just travel.
We don't care where.
No, I go first. I get to go first. I've been grounded.
Let's go together.
Do a group, absolutely.
Well, I feel like you've already been there. Sure, I see. We need to make it happen.
Yes, we do. Anyway, thank you again, Carol and Whitney. You guys are so amazing to us. So appreciate it.
You deserve the Oscar. We're going to come up with a gold statuette award that we can give you at the end of
the
night. Go wet your whistle.
Maybe it's Whitney dressed up as a pirate and dipped in gold, and we'll just use that as a statuette, our Oscar, our Emmy.
I love Whitney, so that works.
Yeah.
And Whitney, if you're able to give me to extract the comments, that would be great as well, because it's so nice to share them with the hotel, so they can see that.
You outstanding presentation. Thank you. From a native Italian, you did it.
Yeah, it's when I extract the recording, I can include the comments.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'll send those to you.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All accolades, no questions, because you didn't leave any stone unturned.
I'm breathless.
A lot of talking.
Me out. I'm gonna go have an Aperol spritz just to calm down. All right.
Cheers.
All right, love it.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.